Hello, Michael Davis again here, Spanish lawyer, specialised in will, estate planning, probate, inheritance-related litigation. I'm a Spanish lawyer. I've been handling these cases all over Spain, including the islands, since 1996. Okay, so today we've got a question I received by email from Mary from St Albans, and she's been called to inherit her mum's property down in Estepona, and she's asking me what the next step is. Her mum was 92, passed away a month ago, and she basically needs to know, what do we do next. This is a sort of normal approach that we receive here in the office, and I'm just going to quickly run through things. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is collect some paperwork. So what I'd recommend is, if precautions haven't been made before she passed away, then come over to Spain, go through all her paperwork, and basically what you're looking out for is you're looking for the title deed to the property, that's the escritura, a Spanish will, hopefully. This is a document called testamento. And then if you can find some bank statements, that's very useful, because we can then locate what banks we need to approach. So with that, you make an appointment to see a lawyer, hopefully us, but it could be another lawyer along the coast that specialise in probate and inheritance, and make an appointment with them. Most lawyers, definitely in our case, will do appointments by Zoom if you can't visit the office. In our case in particular, we handle estates all over Spain. Some lawyers prefer just to do them locally. In our case, we do them all over. So basically make an appointment at one of our offices or over Zoom, and we'll go through those documents that we've just mentioned. In our case, we always provide you with a sort of long document with 100 questions on them, so you can answer before the appointment so that we can make the most of it. And at that appointment, we'll go through, see if there's going to be any problems or if it's all going to be straightforward. And after that appointment, we can give you a budget and time scale for the inheritance process. If there's a will in place, the whole procedure should not take more than 3 months. In this case, Mary's inheriting from her mum and in Andalusia, and as the asset's worth less than €1 million, she's not going to pay an inheritance tax. This is different in other regions of Spain, so you need to consult on that. But we do need to beat the deadline. In other words, in Spain, even though there is no inheritance tax to pay, we do have to receive tax clearance within 6 months. You can request an extension for an additional 6 months, but it's not necessary. There's a Spanish will, because there's plenty of time. So you come in with all the documentation. We'd prepare the budget for you, send it to you in writing for your approval. And if you approve it, then the next step is we'd organise powers of attorney from you to us to handle probate for you. We'd basically open up an account for you, which is where you'll receive the funds from the estate. We will request a Spanish NIE number. That's a tax number, because you can't inherit without having a Spanish tax number. Normally, we'd be asking you whether you're going to sell the property or not after the sale. It's not just because we're nosy, it's so that the powers of attorney can be made out accordingly. There's also some calculations to be made regarding the trade-off between inheritance tax and capital gains tax. That can be, the more we know, the more we can help you. So basically, there's the transfer tax. We have to deal with the acceptance of inheritance deed before we can then go to the acceptance of inheritance. We have to do some certain things to make sure that will that you're showing us is the last will signed in Spain. Before we receive that certificate from Central Register, we cannot go to probate on that will. Some people, when they come to us, they don't actually have what's called a certified copy of the will. They just have a simple photocopy with no signatures on it. In that case, once we've got the certificate from Madrid, we will locate that original will. We can do that through the notarial system. There's no problem. You don't need to worry about it. Okay. So if it was signed, even if you just got a copy, we can locate the original. It doesn't sit with the solicitors like in the UK, so no problem there. Okay, so Once we've got all the documentation and we located all the assets, also we need to do a search to make sure there's no life insurance policies. There's a central register for this. Once we've done all these searches, we've located all the assets, we've got everything ready, we've got your NIE number, and you're all lined up, we can sign the probate deed. At the same time, this will create the new title deed for the property in your name, in the name of the beneficiaries. Once we've done that, we've got to get tax clearance from the Inheritance Tax Office. It's a long story, quite complex to understand, because in Spain we have 17 different regions, and depending on the residency, non-residency of the deceased, the beneficiary, and where the assets are situated, we'll be filing the return either in one of the regions or to the National Tax Office. In some circumstances, we can actually be filing the tax return to the National Tax Office but claiming the regional exemptions. It would do for a 2-hour video, the visits of the inheritance tax. So we don't need to go into that in detail at the moment, but basically we'll get tax clearance for you. And then once we've done that, we will then approach the property register so they can take note of the new ownership of the property. So that in the future, when you go to sell, and the buyer's lawyer does the searches, the property appears in your name, free of charges and all in order, ready to sell. Likewise, we'll take all the bank accounts, put them in your name, and also there's any investments and things like that. If there are cars, we also have to deal with those. So we transfer them into your name by the deed, by the probate deed, and later on, we've got to get the logbook changed at Trafico right at the end. The whole process, if there is a Spanish will and it's well written, would take in between, I don't know, a couple of months, 3 months is normally what it would take. I hope you found the video useful. Thank you for watching.